How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for dropping in. For those of you that watched the last video and sent me messages, as always, thank you. If you haven't, go ahead back and watch a little interview I did with my son Michael. It's pretty amazing. He's a cool little kid. But today, in going forward with what I'm just going to basically decide to do is do most of my family. Just kind of go piece by piece by piece by piece of different, either family members or different situations that happened in my family throughout the years. And today I decided I was going to do what's probably the most important piece of that family for me today. And that's head and arms my wife, Deneen. Deneen has been through so much with me that happened to her, that happened to me, that we've been together, that we worked through, that I really couldn't ask for a more perfect wife. I really couldn't. But to kind of backtrack a little bit here, Deneen and I met. Actually, I don't remember Deneen and I meeting. I had just got fired from a job, and 2 or 3 days later, I'd gotten a call from a friend, Will, for people that know Will. And it was, oddly enough, Deneen's birthday, 420. That I know for a fact she's never partaked in. But Will called me. It was a... Thank you, dogs. But Will calls me. It was a Wednesday day. It was a Wednesday, if I remember correctly. We had karaoke at Bullpen. It might have been a Thursday, like one of those random Thursdays they'd moved it. He's like, hey, you want a pregame? And I was like, yes, I do. So Will came over, and we drank way too much. We smoked a little bit, and we went out. I did karaoke, ended up going to Saucy's, and I honestly don't remember most of the night. And by most, I mean pretty much any of that night. But apparently, when I was at Saucy's, I met this girl. It was her birthday. She was out and about. I don't know how much of it she remembers, but I remember none of it. So when How I Met Your Mother said, oh, it was a great story. We met at a bar. I can't even tell the story. I have no idea. But I actually do remember meeting her a couple days, maybe a week or so later. It was more than that. Maybe it was a little more than that. Maybe 2 weeks. I was at MC3's here in town, and this little blonde girl runs up to me and yells, "Hey, you're taking my job!" And I was like, "What in God's name are you talking about?" In getting fired, I'd started applying at places and ended up landing at Walmart, fortunately, unfortunately. Best thing that ever happened in my life, though. And she was moving from the deli to the bakery, and they needed to replace her, so I replaced her. A ton of food experience, so it was kind of no-brainer for them to hire me and put me over there. The job itself was terrible. It was literally me, a bunch of old ladies, Shane, who was amazing, and Marianda, who was... God, there were a few. There were a few that were pretty amazing to work with. But for the most part, it was just like, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh, you're the young guy. You go do the actual work. And I was like, I just wanted to strangle people. Alice was great too. Vicky. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. Those four. Here nor there. But so Deneen moves down to the cake decorating, to the bakery, and I'm doing deli stuff. And we were friends. Kind of hung out here and there. And then Walmart started getting in these like higher quality meats. It was just meat. That was it. That's what the quality was. It was literally meat and like rosemary solution or something. And they wanted somebody to like stand in the meat department and cook it. So they asked me if I wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, sure. Again, I had a bunch of food experience, so I stood there with a George Foreman grill cooking steaks that should not have been cooked on a George Foreman grill for about a month, give or take. But Deneen is literally 100 feet away from me, can smell the steak the entire day, just constantly walking over and just kind of, hey, can I have a piece? Hey, can I have a piece? Can I have a piece? And by have a piece, I mean she probably ate a steak a day. There's a little exaggeration there, not a whole lot, though. Well, we just did a lot more talking and more talking and more talking, and we started hanging out more and hanging out more, and I used to do these parties on Thursday nights, Thursday night parties. It was a really original name. And she started coming to them, and I lived like right down the street from Saucy's at the time, so sometimes we would go do the all you could drink and then come back and whatever. And we started theming the parties, like we did Halloween, obviously. We did fancy night where people, like the girls dressed in like nice dresses, and the guys went and got like suits from Goodwill and stuff like that. It was an amazing time. Amazing people always came to those. So much fun. But I think that's where Deneen and I really connected, was at these parties, because we were, it was very footloose and fancy free kind of thing, to quote the older generation. But that's really where we kind of started clicking, And after the Halloween themed one, it became very apparent that Deneen liked me and I liked Deneen. And I'd asked some people around Walmart. I was like, "Hey, do you actually think she'd say yes if I asked her to like go on a date or something like that?" And everyone's like, "Yes, go, hurry up." A lot of people are like, "You haven't yet? Like, what's going on? Whatever." So, our very first date, it's coincidentally the very first Now That's What I Call Wrestling show I ever went to at Cheers in Chilton. And we walk into the bar and, walk into where the wrestling ring is. And a buddy of mine, I wouldn't even say buddy actually, someone I know is in the ring. And I'm walking, with Deneen, who's, 5'4", 5'5", 110 pounds soaking wet at the time. And he's like, "You, get in the ring." So she's kind of gets in the ring. He walks up to her and just kind of grabs her and goes, "Don't put your arms down." And just picks my date up and falls back and suplexes her. And I'm like, oh my God, he killed my date. And what? She lands and she pops up and she runs over to me with her iPod. Yeah, iPod. Wait, date this story. And handed it to me and said, "We're doing that again. I need a video." And everybody can point to a moment where they knew that they have the one. This is my moment. This girl is a wrestling fan, apparently used to watch it as a kid a little bit, not a whole lot though, whatever. But wrestling fan, not at all. And immediately is just completely turned on by it. And I was like, I'm done. This is the girl I'm going to marry, And we ended up, starting the date from there. And I'd had a trip planned to go to Virginia to see some family over that coming summer. So this is in November that this happened. We're going on a trip in April, May, one of those 2 months. I don't remember when. But ended up getting her to come to it and propose to her while we were down there at the most inopportune time. We did a bunch of different things that I had the perfect timing to potentially propose to her while I was down there. And I waited until like a big family dinner when she's like covered in like crab meat and butter and Old Bay and is just, disgusting kind of thing. And that's the time I chose. And it's just kind of perfect. It's perfect for us. It's just kind of the way we are, What are the... I don't regret... Again, I've talked about this before. I don't regret a lot of things in life. Do I wish I did some things a little different? Yes. This is about as close to being one of those as I can possibly say. Deneen's father, Ken, is a better father figure to me than my own dad was. Now, I know that's not saying a lot, but Ken's a pretty amazing guy. He really is. And one of the things I wish I could have done maybe possibly a little bit different in life is having actually talked to Ken before proposing. But it's an old school tradition kind of thing. And, old school is what it is. But I think it just took so much longer for me and Ken to actually develop a relationship. And that was probably quite a bit of it. I asked his, youngest daughter to marry her and didn't ask him. I'm not sure if he'd have said yes at that point. I'm not sure if he'd have said no at that point, but I knew what I wanted and I just kind of ran for it and I took it. Anyways, so we come back to Wisconsin and she, before this, had even been talking about, hey, I'm going to move out on my own, away from my grandmother's house. And I was like, well, then you're moving in with me. And she's like, what? Like, we'd been dating like 2 or 3 months at this point. I was like, yeah, like why not? One thing leads to another. We ended up renting an apartment over on Southbrook. That was amazing. It was so much fun. It was our little, it was our home. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Did a lot of amazing things there, and really, that's where you just kind of solidified. This is forever. That's how it's gonna be. Ended up moving to a different house, and having the twins and having Logan, and now buying a house, and we have this amazing life together. And there's obviously been rough patches. I do stupid stuff. She's done stupid stuff. It's just the way it is, and we've worked through all of it. A lot more stupid stuff on my end, obviously, but she's never looked at me cross, ever, not once. She's always been behind me. She's always been willing to forgive me for whatever stupid crap I've ever done, and I think it's way more than I deserve. I kind of fit the bill with the rest of the wrestling, profession. That I just outkicked my coverage so hard, because let me tell you right now, Deneen Ann, at the time Alton, was way more of a person than I ever deserved. She is beautiful. She is smart. She is loving. She is caring. She is everything you could possibly want in a wife. And I say all of this, even if she doesn't watch this and never ever tells her about this. I don't care. I'm not saying this to ever kiss her ass, because God knows I don't. I never have. I've always been upfront and honest with her. But it's all true. Like, it really is. I don't think I ever really deserved someone as amazing as my wife is to me. Everything amazing in my life I owe to my wife. My kids and the amazing life we have now, and we own a house now because of her. I own a decent car because of her, and I owe so much to her. When I broke my neck, she couldn't have been a more supportive, more caregiving person. She sat by me for 4 months and just, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? There was no, hey, I'm tired, I can't. She just went. And we had 2 little boys that were a little over a year old, and she's the only one chasing them around and doing everything for them. And I'm just kind of sitting in a chair, not being able to do anything. And, again, I couldn't have gotten luckier in life. I really couldn't have. And this is a lot of why I have the mantra of, I wouldn't change a thing. 'Cause I honestly wouldn't. Of course, I'm getting a phone call. But I really wouldn't change anything, because at the time I got fired from that job, I thought it was just the end of my life, Like, what am I going to do? 24 years old, I don't have a job. Oh, God. I lost my mind over it. And then week and a half later, this girl walks into my life because of it. And if I keep that job, God knows, I don't ever meet her. I don't have what I have. So I'm the utmost grateful it happened to me, And she's just, the woman's amazing. Like, she truly is. I try every day to give her what she deserves. It's nowhere close, because she deserves everything. God bless her heart. She's slumming it, though, with me. But I think I'm going to end it right there, because I'm just going to keep gushing and keep oohing and eyeing over her, because I could all day. I really could. Not to mention, she gets home from work soon. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for watching, guys. What is it? Like, subscribe, comment, smoke signal this video, whatever it is. I don't remember. But as always, wouldn't change a thing.